Greetings everyone, this is the Terror of Death 99, aka the Black Cobra, and this is Phoenix Wright's Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Now, when we last left off, I'd actually restarted the final case due to issues with my microphone. Anyway, first a quick little recap. First up, we actually found out that there was another murder. We actually found out that the murder victim was actually a well-known victim. It was actually an author who actually knew Pearl and Maya quite well. Though we still don't know who the killer actually is. At least not yet. We also found out that Phoenix Wright had actually come to rescue Maya and actually fell off Dusky Bridge after it was actually hit by lightning and caught fire. Fortunately, he's alright, but for the time being, Miles Edgeworth has actually taken over. For the time being. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? Okay. Victim is famous picture book author, Miss Elise Dunham. Her entire past up until she won a writing award last year is a total mystery. It's hard to believe that in this day and age you can still find people like that. The estimated time of death of the victim was between 10 and 11 p.m. on February 7th. The cause of death was blood loss resulting from a stab wound to the back by the murder weapon. Victim was found skewered with a giant sword. Yes. Victim's entire body was found covered with bruises. Bruises are consistent with from falling from the height of a two-story building. That would be about the same height as the room that's in front of us, correct? Happens to be the same room that Miss Elise Dunham was staying in. Maybe she was pushed out of the window after she was stabbed by the sword. I don't buy it. Technically, if she was actually stabbed first and then pushed, bruises wouldn't have appeared. Now then, detective, let's see if we can summarize what we've learned so far. See what we have here. According one moment, everyone. Sorry about that. Been a little under the weather last couple of days. According to the testimony of Miss Sister Bikini, the head nun, right after they finished dinner, she and Maya Fey headed to the inner temple. At 10 p.m., after ringing the bell for lights out, Iris went to the inner temple. When she got there, Bikini had her take over while she went back to Hazakura Temple. After taking a hot bath to soothe her back, Sister Bikini witnessed the murder in the courtyard. Very well. The inner temple. I'd like some more information about that place. What is this inner temple that Maya was supposedly training at? According to Sister Bikini, it's an old building that they use for training the acolytes. It's on the other side of Dusky Bridge. The bridge that burned down. Is there anything else on the other side of that bridge besides the inner temple? Nothing? The other side is surrounded by cliffs on all sides. True. So the only thing there is the inner temple. I hear it's not the kind of place a person could survive in. The trial begins tomorrow, but who's the prosecutor? Let me get a hold of Godot. I intend to appear in court in the role of defense attorney. However, I would be quite unhappy if it came out that I'm actually a prosecutor. That's a good point. Now, I should mention, there's one thing I should mention before we continue. That judge right there is actually not going to be the judge for this part of the case. It's actually going to be his brother, the one who was actually the judge in Miyafei's first case. Yes, he certainly would remember my face even after such a long absence. That's why I requested that another judge preside over the trial tomorrow. We've only met each other once. There's a good chance he won't remember me at all. There's no need to worry. I pulled a few strings and arranged for a prosecutor of my own choosing. Never underestimate the power of Miles Edgeworth. Now, we're actually heading back to the detention center. It's actually something very important I'm going to show you. This snowmobile. Okay, that was a complete waste of time. Actually, it wasn't. That is going to be very important later on. That snowmobile. I came back because I need to ask you a few more questions, if you don't mind, Iris. Iris, please remember, I'm on your side. You can tell me anything. First thing, I just finished speaking with the head nun of Hasakura Temple. She testified very clearly as to what happened. She said she saw you stab Miss Elise Dunham with a sword. And one other thing. She said that when Maya Fey began her training at the Inner Temple, you were there as well. When I spoke with you last, you claimed that you never went into the Inner Temple. And yet, Sister Bikini said she met with you at the Inner Temple that very night. Looks like she's unwilling to tell me the whole truth. Wonder if I'll be able to find the answers if I'm looking for if I break those cyclocks. Alright. Now, since I've been handed this case, it is my duty to dig up all the answers. Understand, Iris? The smallest flame could sometimes bathe a case in a whole new light. In my years in court, I've seen it happen over and over again. That's why I'm committed to searching until I have all the answers. Now then, is it really true that you didn't go to the Inner Temple last night? Yes. You said you didn't go there because you were frightened. If that's the case, then the obvious question is, what were you so afraid of? Iris, I wonder, is this what frightened you so much that you couldn't even leave your own room? Take that! I found this in the main hall. It is addressed to you. One moment, everyone. One thing I should mention, if my power goes out, I apologize. It's actually raining here. It's actually storming here. Pretty nasty. So if my power goes out, I do apologize. You were scared of the blackmailer who wrote this letter to you. Isn't that correct? Was it the evidence or the power of my glare that broke the lock? I don't suppose it matters either way. Yes? Prank? I wonder about that. No, you may not have anything to hide under normal circumstances. However, last night was different. Unfortunately, I don't know the exact nature of your secret yet. However, whatever it is, there is one person you don't want your secret told to. I know exactly who it is. Phoenix Wright. You mean something to Wright, it seems. I can tell he holds a special place in your heart as well. That's why you didn't want him, of all people, to know your deep, dark secret. Well, what do you have to say, Iris? What is this heavenly hall the letter mentions? Small shack, huh? Where is it on this map? So it's right past, it's right near Dusky Bridge. Right below it. Below it. Before it as well. So this is a secret that you kept locked away in your heart. Seems as though I may have to visit this heavenly hall now. Maybe I'll find some sort of mystery behind our mystery blackmailer. In any case, you still claim that you never left your room last night? Trial starts tomorrow. I promise you, I will win. I'm going to win so that you and Phoenix Wright can see each other again. But when I do, you must promise me that you will tell him your secret. Why would you say that? What? Oh, I already know that's a complete lie. Anyway, we're going back to Heavenly Hall. heading to Heavenly Hall. Settle down. Jig is up. What have you got to say for yourself? What is this little shack anyway? Why were you down here in the first place? One thing's for sure, no one is likely to show up and disturb you here. Why are you so sure she's innocent? Something tells me he would be shocked indeed, but not in the way you would think. If we really want to know the answer to that, we're gonna have to drag him out onto the witness stand. Come to think of it, you still haven't answered my question. Where were you, and what were you doing the night of the crime? Something incredible? What was it? Here we go again. No. No. Why hasn't he realized that I absolutely despise talking about the good old days, especially with him? That figures.
Take that!
Alright, now you're gonna tell me what you saw the night of the crime. I'm aware of that. I believe it was a little thing called a lightning strike. Dusky Bridge caught on fire. Are you saying you saw it in your own eyes? Where were you when you saw that happen? What do you mean, what do I mean? Just answer the damn question! As usual, you're as transparent as an empty jelly jar. The problem I suspect lies there. It's impossible for you to see it. You have seen lightning strike Dusky Bridge from your room.
Take that!
This is a map of the area. Take a look around the vicinity of Hasakura Temple. I think that should be fairly obvious. The main hall is surrounded by trees, and it's impossible to see the bridge from here. Well, how about it? Looks like it won't be that easy after all. You leave me no choice. I'll move on to the next step. You weren't in your room at the temple, so then where were you? If I read the situation up to this point correctly, the answer is fairly obvious. Very well then, let's test my theory. The place you witnessed lightning striking Dusky Bridge was here.
Take that!
How do you know that anyway? How do you know there's no electricity? After all, it's not that dark yet. In other words, you have just proven evidence to prove my theory. My theory that you've at least once in your life visited Heavenly Hall after sunset. What were you doing at this cold shack last night? Affair de corps. Affair de corps. Could it be you were waiting for someone? I believe that last night you were waiting for this person to come meet you.
Take that!
There's only one person you would have waited for in a horrible place like this. I told you before. The person you were waiting for was Iris. I would not just guess. This is where I draw the line and end this ridiculous little game. Here's the evidence that proves that you were waiting for Iris.
Take that!
Here's your evidence. You called us to the spot with a pathetic blackmail letter. I misjudged you. Taking advantage of a woman's frailty like that? You should be ashamed of yourself. First of all, what's this at the top of the letter? It says salutation here. Oh my god, what an idiot. That's what you're supposed to write, Dear Iris. Jeez. So you were in Heavenly Hall last night, weren't you, Maurice? And you saw the lightning hit Dusky Bridge, didn't you? Love letter? I think not. What? Oh my god. Come on, even Pearl wouldn't believe that kind of garbage. Why did you send a love letter in a business-like manila envelope? That's it? That's what all those huge locks were about? What do you mean, detective? He's right. What was this something incredible that you saw last night? You're going to tell me one way or another. Yes, I'm aware of that. I believe it was the incredible sight you saw. But now that I think about it, something doesn't quite ring true. That's all it is that's all there is to your story. Your heart wouldn't have had all those locks. Therefore, I do believe you saw something last night. Something more incredible than lightning. Ah, damn it! Here we go again. Christ. Yeah. Ay. Now you see why I was so pissed about having to do this case all over again, everyone. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. It's no time to be embarrassed. Worry not. In any case, whatever it was that they saw on that 99th incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him. No. I believe that none will be the first to take the stand. She claims to have seen the very incident in which you carried out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Dunham, correct? Very well then. Yes? Don't worry, I've made the necessary arrangements. Iris. It is the prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I'm a defense attorney. The defense attorney's job is to believe in people and to believe until the very end. That's what a friend of mine told me once. I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself whether or not I am fit to do the task I have been entrusted. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Iris Hawthorne. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Oh, wait till you see who the prosecutor is for this one. Oh, it's actually someone we actually know about quite well. And it's not Godot, surprisingly. It's someone who personally I actually hate even more than Godot.
Objection!
Yep. Well, look who it is. It's Francesca von Karma. Yep. That is Manfred von Karma's granddaughter. Daughter, actually. Yes, Your Honor. I believe you are imagining things, Your Honor. Miss Von Karma, do you have anything to say?
Hold it!
Hold it. I have no objection to the whip. The prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee, but there is still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today. I see you brought your flares from the histronic. Very well. Miss Von Karma, please give an outline of this case. The murder victim is the famed picture book author Miss Elise Dunham. Her body was found in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue. The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well. Court accepts the photo of this crime scene. I disagree. Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney. Witness, please state your name and occupation. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for a back pain plagued witness. Bailiff, please fetch a crate for this poor lady. Very well. Once again, name and occupation, please. Very well. No. In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question. Let's hear, then, what you have to say. And yes, that judge is Canadian. Not that I have a problem with it, because I'm actually part Canadian myself. First, tell us about your own movements that night. That night I was helping an acolyte with their training in the inner temple. However, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no bath in the inner temple, you see. I needed a long hot soak. Very well. It was after I had finished, just as I was heading back, that's when I saw it. So it was simply coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple. That sounds like a pretty important statement you just made. Gladly, Your Honor.
Hold it!
Hold it! What is this inner temple? Conversing with the spirits is what we train people to do, correct? Very well. In order to do that, a place strong in spiritual power is required. There's a small temple across Dusky Bridge called the Inner Temple. Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training. And how exactly do you help with this process? It can't be performed without a nun supervising. Like a tutor, watching to make sure a spoiled child studies. If that is the case, then why did you return to Hazakura Temple where the murder took place?
Hold it!
Hold it. Violently. On the night of the murder, was this fabulous back of yours hurting again?
Hold it!
Hold it. You left Iris to help. With what? It was just past 10 p.m., so we started to enter into the training exercises proper. Wasn't it your place to remain with the disciple? Very well. Just to confirm this point again, that night, you met Iris in the Inner Temple, correct? Hold it! So you returned to Hazakura Temple in order to take a bath. How long were you there, if you don't mind me asking? No. I'm simply asking a question. Miss Von Karma! I'm really not in the mood to deal with this right now. Anyway, I couldn't afford to be away from my post for too long.
Hold it!
Hold it! The crime took place in the courtyard, correct? Winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard. Pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before her own eyes. I don't buy it. There is indeed only one problem with this testimony. If I can clearly point out what it is, then I can begin to quantify just how good this witness's memory and observation skills are.